Every single day, under this blazing sun, he walks down to the river to collect water, carrying two large pots balanced heavily on a long wooden pole across his shoulders. Now notice the striking contrast between these two. On one side, we've got flawless gleaming pride, a perfect pot that delivers a full, heavy load of water without spilling a single drop. And on the other side, our perceived defect, a cracked pot that leaks a steady trail of water in the dirt, only managing to deliver half its cargo. One feels like a resounding success, and the other, it feels like a constant, undeniable failure. Now imagine the sheer emotional exhaustion of this cycle. We're not talking about a bad week here or a clumsy afternoon. This went on for 2 whole years. 2 years. Every single day, the perfect pot proudly did its job. And every single day, the cracked pot agonizingly watched half of its worth just seep into the soil. That is a heavy, prolonged period of suffering that slowly grinds down a spirit. The cracked pot finally reaches its breaking point. It just can't keep quiet anymore. And with a heavy heart, it says, "I am so sorry. I feel so ashamed of myself. Because of this crack in my side, water leaks out all the way. I am useless." It's apologizing because it firmly believes the water bearer isn't getting full value for his agonizingly hard work. Think about how the physical crack has become a metaphor for deep internal shame here. It doesn't just think it has a crack, it believes it is broken at its core. Have you ever felt like apologizing simply for being who you are? That's the emotional low point of this journey, a crushing feeling of absolute inadequacy. Right when the shame is at its absolute heaviest, the narrative shifts completely. Instead of arguing with the pot or offering, empty, dismissive platitudes, the water bearer simply smiles. With immense warmth, he gives the pot a gentle, new set of instructions. He says, "As we walk back today, don't look at the water you're losing. Instead, walk back from the river, look closely at the path, and notice the beautiful flowers." He's basically asking the pot to step outside its own suffocating internal monologue of failure. And this beautifully illustrates the story's big twist. As they walk that familiar, sun-baked dirt path, the cracked pot looks down and sees an absolute explosion of life. On its side of the path, there are colorful flowers everywhere. Vibrant reds, bright yellows, deep purples, stunning oranges, all dancing in the sunlight. But when it looks over at the perfect pot side, it's just bare, dry, dusty ground. Not a single green leaf, completely barren. The poor pot is, understandably, utterly confused. But the water bearer leans in and basically confesses to being a secret landscaper. He says, "I have always known about your crack, and I took advantage of it. Without your crack, this beauty would not exist." He explains that he intentionally planted flower seeds on the cracked pot's side of the path. Every day, the pot wasn't just losing water, it was quietly nourishing those seeds. And for 2 long years, the water bearer had been gathering those exact flowers to decorate his master's table, bringing joy and life indoors. So let's get to the real core of this explainer. Because this fable is actually a powerful mirror for how we construct the stories of our own lives. The cracked pot thought it was worthless because it was measuring success by the entirely wrong metric. It judged itself purely as a vessel for holding water, right? Completely unaware it was actually a vessel for creating life. We really need to redefine this word altogether. A flaw isn't a failure. It's a unique imperfection that lets light in and creates unexpected beauty. We all have cracks, but those cracks aren't mistakes. They're exactly what make you special. Think about how this translates into your own everyday life. Where you think you are weak or failing, you might actually be creating a profound impact. Maybe your deep sensitivity, which you sometimes view as an exhausting burden, is the exact trait that helps you understand and comfort others in their darkest moments. Maybe your personal struggles have taught others they are absolutely not alone. Or maybe your totally different way of thinking is exactly what brings brilliant, unconventional ideas into the world. Just like the pot, you are watering seeds you can't even see. Let's wrap this up by looking at how you can fully embrace your own unique narrative. The story we tell ourselves literally dictates how we live. If you tell yourself you're a broken pot, you'll live in shame. But if you realize you're a gardener of unexpected beauty, your entire world changes. Look, the world doesn't actually need more perfect pots. Perfection completes a simple utilitarian task. It delivered water. That's it. But imperfection delivered water and created beauty, life, and flowers. You've got to remember this the absolute next time you feel wholly inadequate. When you look in the mirror and only see the pieces that don't fit perfectly together, remind yourself you are not broken. You are enough exactly as you are. and your flaws are simply a crucial part of your beautifully unique story. Even on the exhausting days when you feel like you're just leaking energy, remember this profound truth. You are creating flowers. You're leaving a trail of color and life that simply wouldn't exist without your specific, beautiful imperfections. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to deeply consider as you continue walking your own unique path today. Stop obsessing over the water you think you're losing and take a deliberate moment to look at the ground around you. What beautiful flowers are growing along your path that you cannot see yet? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep shining your light, wholeheartedly embrace your cracks, and I'll see you next time.